Hi, welcome to the Scott Patrick Show. We have a great show today. I'm just by myself. Co-host Bill Huff was not able to make the show today, but we have a good show to be able to talk about. And today we're going to be talking about multiple streams of income. And we've shared a little bit about multiple streams of income and how important that is in being able to start your real estate business and build your empire. So today I'm going to share just a little bit more in depth on how multiple streams of income can get you started and can get you through um, up and down periods in the real estate market. And right now, today, I would consider us starting to be in a uh, real estate market where it's starting to level out from the 22 and 23 real estate booms. It wasn't really a boom, it was more of a overvaluation of what properties were. And that overvaluation is starting to come back into um, alignment now to where it's not a seller's market anymore. It's definitely a buyer's market. A lot of sellers are still thinking they can get those inflated prices on real estate from 2 years ago, and they're starting to come to the realization that that's just not going to happen. So you see a lot of properties are on the market that way, but what does that mean with multiple streams of income, and how can that come about? So I wanted to be able to talk about that. So let's get into the matter just a little bit. So when you set up your real estate empire, when you set up your business, um, my business has multiple LLCs that handle a different component of uh, the uh, mechanism of doing a real estate transaction. I have a funding company or a consulting company that does uh, the marketing and funding for a project. So I make money in that form or fashion. I have a funding company that funds projects. Uh, so I make money on the back end that way. I'm forming a real estate business to be able to sell my properties and other properties. So it's a legitimate, full fledged brokerage to be able to sell properties. So I'll get a percentage of that. Um, and uh, there's other things like a management company to be able to manage properties. So you get you get funds from that or stream revenue from that. And you can go even into cleaning, short-term rentals, being able to clean properties or clean properties for showings. I have equipment to be able to do the um, packages for properties like photos and videos, which is another completely different part of the real estate market. Um, so that's just five, six different things that you can set your business up to be able to get um, those types of revenue streams instead of just selling a property and getting the profit and letting a lot of that other um, revenue go to other people. Why not keep as much of that, those funds that are part of the real estate, um, that's part of the real estate transaction. Uh, keep as much of that for yourself as you can, and let as little as possible go to other entities or other people. Now there are other people that are going to be getting paid, and it's just really about how much you want to be able to do and control. I was talking with someone, a builder, actually, or a conversation through someone to with a builder, and that builder has his structure basically set up to where most of the transactions that are going to come about with his uh, development business, construction business. Uh, he has entities set up to be able to take certain portions of the real estate transaction for a property. So if you're doing like Magnolia Park project, and I have 68 or 67 townhomes in that development. My real estate business is going to be able to market those properties, and I'm going to get a stream of income from that. A brokerage is going to keep 3%. The agent that sells it is going to get a point and a half, maybe two, and the broker that is overseeing the agents is going to get a point and a half, or somewhere in that neighborhood. But the brokerage is going to get 3%, so I'm going to get 3% of everything. So that's what I mean by keeping as much of the real estate transaction money to yourself. It's flowing through a different entity, but it's still coming to you uh, as far as profit goes. So I have that, and I have a management company, a holding company that's going to be the management company for the development. So that management company is going to get 5% of the monthly revenue that it comes off of each of the 67 townhomes. If they're rented every month at, say, $2,200 a month, times 67, that management company is going to get 5% every month for the management of the properties that they oversee. So if I have two or three different developments with 300 properties in it at $2,200 a piece, well, that's 5% is going to be going to that holding company that's acting as the management company. I could have a cleaning service in there. If I wanted to form a cleaning service, it would be easy to do. I could set up an LLC that's just a cleaning business to be able to go in and do the cleaning, to clean the properties for showings, to clean the properties after someone leaves or rents, or if I have short-term rentals, which I like short-term rentals quite a bit, and I'll tell you why. But if I have short-term rentals, I have the cleaning business that goes in and does the cleaning. I could have a maintenance company that goes in and does the maintenance on the properties, preventive maintenance or anything. That's usually part of the holding management company, but they handle that. But I could set up a cleaning and management or cleaning and maintenance company to maintain and clean the properties. And it's another stream of income, and you're keeping as much of that money in your empire and not letting it go out to other people, other than the people that you're paying to do the cleaning or do the maintenance and different things along those lines. But but yeah. So let me share just a little bit about um, uh, how you get started with doing multiple streams of income. I mean, the first thing is, just getting your LLC set up. And as your business begins to grow, you start to see opportunities where you can set up a new LLC. Doesn't cost very much nowadays. You can set up an LLC for anywhere from $300 to $750 and get it up and going. So it doesn't doesn't take too much to be able to do that. Once the LLC is set up, you go ahead and you keep working on uh, uh, building up that new LLC. So if you need cleaning people, you hire cleaning people. If you need a maintenance person, you hire a maintenance person. Uh, if you're looking to be able to do fundraising, to be able to find private money funding or investors to be able to do your projects, you need to have somebody on the phone. Uh, I mean, it's old school. It really is. There's two different ways that you can find investors. You can network by going out and meeting people and talking with people and finding people that way. You can reach people via email and phone. That's email is kind of a passive way of being able to do it, but you can do it basically by picking up the phone and calling people. You purchase a list of people that have net revenues or net worth of 10, $15 million or so, and you're calling them, that deal with real estate and purchase real estate investments, and you just give them a call. I was really apprehensive about making phone calls and being able to do that back in the early 2000s, 2008, 2010, somewhere in there. I met a person by the name of MJ Durkin, and MJ basically uh, gave you the ability to be able to every day make your dial. He called it making your dials. You make your dials every day, and you keep your list, and you keep and that list just continues to grow. So if you're networking with people and you find people that are through networking that are interested in being able to be a part of what you're doing, you get their name, you get their email address, you get their phone number, and they go on the list. Okay. So that list just continues to grow, and it's in a book or it's in a notepad or it's in a computer file. I keep it in a notepad, and I just open up that list and I just start dialing off that list. And when I get a hold of someone and they tell me that they can't do it right now because this, that, and the other thing, I say, okay, no problem. Make a little note on it and give them a call back. In 3 months or somewhere along there, things might have changed. And I've noticed that over the years that as I do my dials, somebody from 1 or 2 years ago might not have had the ability to be able to get into a project at that point in time, but now they can. And it's just hitting the people at the right point of time. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is to do your dials. And I'm not saying that you have to be on the phone and calling people, for 6, 7 hours a day or anything along those lines. I don't do that. I can't. I just don't have it. But I can call them for 45 minutes or half hour, 45 minutes, maybe once in the afternoon and once in the afternoon, once in the morning, and get, 15, 20 dials in. Man, if I can do 15, 20 dials a day, 5 days a week, maybe six, that's 100 to 120 people that I'm calling every day. Now, I might not get a hold of everybody. That's not the idea of it. The idea is to just make the dials and to keep the dials going. You want to be able to keep punching the numbers in and making the dials. If there's answer machine or a voicemail, just move on. Go to the next one, and then you do that one, and you might get a hold of somebody, and you talk to them, and you put them into the pipe. You keep stuffing the pipe. The more you stuff the pipe, the more money's going to come out the other end. So you just got to keep stuffing the pipe, and you do that in any kind of sales. If it's real estate sales, it's home showings. It's being able to make the phone calls to be able to get a showing, to get a client to show properties to. That's stuff in the pipe. The more times you show a property, the more likely you're going to write a contract, and the contract's going to close, and you're going to make money. With this, with being able to raise funds. It's being able to make the dials to be able to get that person. Yeah, I'm interested. Send me over the information. Send me the executive summary so I can take a look at it. No problem. Got your verified email address, and that person's now in the pipe, and he's going to go through a process then with a follow-up call in about 2 days to go over the executive summary and to close the sale, to ask for the money. And that's how it works. But you can't get to that point if you don't make the dials. You just have to make the dials. You have to just pound it out and set yourself a goal. Set yourself a goal of doing 10, 15, 20 dials a day. It doesn't take that long. Trust me, it really doesn't. You might only get a hold of maybe 4 or 5 people. And the other 15, it takes the time to be able to call, and there's no answer. You just move on to the next one, but that's a dial. And you keep track of your dials. I did 100 dials this week, and I got a hold of 25 people. And out of those 25 people, 15 of them took the executive summary. And out of those 15, I'm probably going to get 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that are, or 4 that are very interested in being able to do it. And out of those 4, I'm going to close 2 of them. So that's it's important to be able to do your numbers. You do your dials, you keep track of how many dials you have, how many dials it took to be able to get somebody to say, yeah, just send me the information. And you quantify everything, because then after a period of time, you can look at the numbers and you can go, okay, so if I make 50 dials a day, I'm going to produce. Well, let's back up just a little bit. So let's say, for instance, I'm talking about doing a $500,000. Somebody to come in on a project for $500,000, get $500,000. So I'm sending them an executive summary, and out of those 4 people that are very interested, and I close 2 of them, each one of those is going to be putting in a $500,000. Okay, so I know that if I um, make 20 dials a day, 100 dials a week, I'm going to be bringing in and closing 2 people a week at a $500,000 a piece. And now that I have those numbers, I know how many dials I have to be able to make every day to be able to get those 2 sales a week, or was it 8, 2, 4, 8 sales a month at a $500,000. Okay. Uh, and if I'm talking about a $20 million package, I know how many weeks I have to be able to go before that package is closed up at a $500,000. So it's all about knowing the numbers. And once you have that aspect put into place in your business plan and business empire, now I know you can start to plan things out. So now I've got that $20 million taken care of over the course of, say, 6 months, somewhere in there, roughly 6, 7 months. Now I have that, but before that, there was an offer being put in on the development, and that property is being closed. And we closed on that property. We have the property to be able to we have it. So now we control it. So now, as that money starts coming in, that $1 million a week with the 2 sales, uh, I know that I've got $1 million coming in, so I can start the horizontal work. I can start after the horizontal work is done. I can start doing the vertical work and start constructing the properties. As I start constructing the properties, the real estate people are out there. We have open houses where people can come in. We're taking them in golf carts, going all around and showing them the different lots. And somebody can pick out their lot, and this is the floor plan, and these are the options and extras. and we get somebody under contract to be able to buy that house when it's constructed. So now we're pre-selling homes that aren't constructed yet, but we're selling the lot and we're getting that property up and going. So it's constructed in a month or two, somewhere in there, and then we close on that property and we get uh, the real estate brokerage gets its 6% and it flows out its way. The management company gets its portion. The cleaning service gets its portion because they went in and cleaned the property and got it ready to show, or cleaned it up and got it ready to be able to close. However it goes, but all starts to gel together. But it takes time to be able to get that put together and to get it working the right way. So we want to be able to uh, get that process matured so that we can start doing the next project down the road here, or maybe doing two projects at a time. That's a lot. But you start doing developments where you're bringing about, like we said on one of the past shows, we're providing affordable housing for families and for individuals, for a community. So in being able to do that, we um, uh, continue to build other developments. So we want to be able to have as many doors as we can. Some of them we keep, and we do short-term rentals on them. So I might do, say out of say 100 townhomes or duplexes in development. I might regular monthly rent maybe half of them, and the other half I do short-term rentals. And I said a little while back, I want to share with you why I like short-term rentals the best. And let's get into that just a little bit. The reason, there's two different ways that you can rent properties. Actually, there's three. You can do regular rent, say $2,200 a month with first and last month's deposit. Okay, that's the most normal way that most people, they buy a property, they fix it up, and then they rent it out. They rent it out for cash flow. Cash flow is everything in real estate. We want cash flow. So they rent it out. Let's say for instance they get two. Just for simple math, we'll do 2,000. So we do 2,000 a month, and we have 50 of those like that. So 2,000 a month times 50. So that's $100,000 in cash coming in. Okay. Out of that comes taxes. Out of that comes utilities or maintenance as far as lawn care, uh, uh, um, landscaping, just development, land care. Okay, so that's 100,000. So let's say 25% of that goes to the management company. Okay, which is going to be $5,000 a month is going to be going to the management company just from those 50, at $2,000 a month. Well, $5,000 a month times 12 months is $60,000, right? Okay. So that's keeping the money in the empire. So that's the first way, is just doing a straight rent, first and last deposit, or first and last month for deposit, and off you go. The other option is that you could do a lease purchase. A lease purchase is, I think, a little bit of a stronger position, because you're dealing with someone that can't afford to be able, or doesn't qualify to be able to purchase a home. And there's a lot of people that are like that. There's a big market that's starting to hit called the build to rent market, which is basically what I'm doing. I'm building 60, 100 homes, and I'm building them to rent them out. And it's a business plan. And it's a very profitable business plan because there are a lot of people with interest rates and that cannot qualify to purchase a home. They just can't do it. Their debt to income ratio is too high, whatever it might be, but they can't get into a property, so they have to rent. So instead of renting a 3-bedroom apartment, they can rent a home. They can rent a townhome. They can rent a duplex that's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a yard, with a driveway, with a garage, and they will rent that property. But they can also rent to own it. And when you do a rent to own, that gives you a little bit better of a renter. And what I mean by that is they're going to put down 10, maybe 15% as a deposit on the lease purchase option. A lease purchase option is a period of time after they sign the lease. They have a certain period of time to be able to exercise the lease purchase. In other words, somebody might want to do a lease purchase because they can't get into a home, but this is the type of home that they would be purchasing. And uh, they have, say, a year or 2 years to exercise the option because their position or their circumstances might be better in 2 years, and then they can purchase this property because this is the type of property that they would want to purchase. Or they could let the option lapse and then they're just a renter at that point in time, but they lose their deposit because the deposit at 10, 15% is a non-refundable deposit. That deposit goes 100% towards their down payment on the property. So if they don't exercise their option, they lose that deposit. If they leave the property, they lose that deposit. If they exercise the option, but then they can't get financed, they lose the thing. But I always do seller financing because I own the properties outright. There's no liens on them, so I can seller finance. So I can always seller finance that property to them, and I'm making more money that way. That's another stream of income. I'm making interest on $300,000, $400,000 over 30 years at a fixed rate, and I'll give them a good rate because I want the money. I don't want the bank to have the money. I want the money, so I'll give them a good rate on seller financing so that they can purchase from me. And I do that for most of the properties that I have. I always do seller financing because I'm getting that interest, and a bank isn't. I'm getting it. I have to pay taxes on it, just like a bank would have to pay taxes on its revenues. But like I said, it's another stream of income to be able to come in and to make things work. So you have regular rent with first and last months as a deposit. You have lease to own, and then you have short-term rentals. What is a short-term rental? Short-term rental basically is something along the form of doing an Airbnb. Airbnb. Only it's a little bit different because with an Airbnb, most Airbnbs are somebody else living in the property, and you're coming in to stay for 1, 2, maybe 3 nights or something in somebody else's house, or you're renting the entire house for 3, 4, or 5 nights or something along those lines at $120 or $130 a night. Okay. Those are short term rentals. So those are the three types: short term rentals, lease to purchase option, or regular rent. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, the biggest one is, remember, the whole idea is cash flow. So the disadvantage of regular rent is if somebody doesn't pay rent, you have to evict that person out of that property, and you have to do it quickly. And it usually doesn't happen quickly because most of the laws in most of the states are not owner friendly when it comes to an eviction. So I don't like being in that uh, arena. I really don't. So renting for me isn't good because you might get a good renter and might be in there for 2 years or something like that. But if they lose their job, guess what? They stop paying rent. They might not pay rent for a long period of time, and after 2 or 3 months of yeah, I'm gonna get that money to you. Yeah, I've got some, all the excuses, and the money still doesn't come in. You're 3 months back on $2,000. That's $6,000 that you've been paying out that hasn't been coming back in, and they're living in the property for free. And the only way you're going to get them out is to evict them, which is an attorney, it's the court system, and sheriff, and eventually you get them out of the property. But you may be, you know, 4, 5, 6 months without revenue coming in at 2,000. That's $12,000 a month, plus the damage that they cause, because they always cause damage because they rip things out, they take appliances, they do all these other things, and you have to repair and replace all that stuff. So for me, it's just not worth the headache. So I don't do regular rents. Um, I like doing the lease purchase because you get a better renter. You get somebody in there that's their property, that's gonna be their home. So they're gonna hopefully take care of it better, but you still have uh some ability to be able to have a better type of renter in there because they have to pay a larger amount as a deposit. Kind of keeps the riffraff out. Probably not the right term, but it keeps the people out that uh, are are looking to game the system. I'm looking to be in your property for 4 or 5 months, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. There's people that's all they do, and you want to stay away from those people. Well, a bigger deposit of $15,000 to $20,000 is going to keep those people out of your property because they don't have that kind of money to put down as a deposit that they can't get back unless they exercise the option to purchase. So it helps, but you still have the same problem. If they don't pay, yeah, you get to keep the deposit money, but you still have to evict those people out of that property if they don't want to voluntarily get out of the property and go. So it's a little bit better of a situation, but you still have the same problems with it. Short-term rentals, though, guess what? Short-term rent, and let me go back. So with regular renting and the lease, you have to collect those rents, right? You have to collect those rents. That's your cash flow. Sometimes those rents are short coming. Maybe they're 5 days late or 10 days late. You've still got bills coming at the first of the month, so it causes some stress for you. Okay, and that's the collection part of the rental business with short-term rentals. And the reason why I like short-term rentals is because you get paid up front. Period. You get paid up front. So short-term rentals, either through Airbnb, or if you have your own payment platform, or you have a management company that is handling the payments on the short-term rentals, or a platform like weebybeachin.com, they people pay for those beach rental properties every time somebody books a stay. They pay up front. They pay up front before they even get there. And I don't get that money until after they move into the property for the 3, 4, 5 days or something. But it's like a hotel. When you book a hotel, you don't have some ask for a deposit up front. Others, you don't have to pay until you get there, and then you give them the credit card, and you're there for 3, 4, 5 nights, and they run your credit card at the end of the stay. That's a hotel, but it's a short-term rental. Uh, they get paid up front. So we always get paid up front on the short-term rentals. So we don't have to worry about the money not being there. The money's already there. They already paid for it. Um, when their stay is over, everything is cashed out. I get paid, and the management company gets paid the 5%, and everything's hunky dory. And the thing I also like about short-term rentals is you make more money on the property. So let's go back to the $2,000. So $2,000 on these 50 homes. If I have 100 of them, half of them, 50, are short-term rentals, and half of them are regular rentals. Kind of divided up a little bit. So if I have 50, what was it, 100,000? So it was 100,000 that was coming in regularly on rent. Okay. So if I was going to rent out on a short-term rental, one of these duplexes, I would probably rent it out for probably around 180, maybe $200 a night, because it's 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's a home. Okay. Has everything already put in it, all the furnishings, everything that they would need, grill on the outside, everything that they would want to have in a short-term rental, in a stay. Most of your hotels are going to run anywhere from 185 to $250 a night just for a room. So this is a house. So I could probably go anywhere from 185 to $250 a night pretty easily. But let's just do it this way. Let's say $200 a night. So that same $100,000 divided by 200, I'd have to have, okay, so so 200 times 365 days. That's $73,000 if I were to rent that property, if I were to rent that one property out. Okay. That's one property, $200 a night times 365 days is $73,000. What was our rent for 50 of those properties a month? It was 100,000, right? So times, that's a million. Okay. So, right. A little over a million. So times 50 of those properties, that's $365,000 a year. Now, you're not going to have 100% occupancy in there, so we got to knock that down. So let's say, for instance, we're going to have, let's be really conservative. Let's say we're going to have, say, 60% occupancy. That's $219,000 a year. Okay. $219,000. Is it a year? That's a month. It's a month. Okay. Times 12. That's $2,628,000 a year. With the other one, we had 100,000, right? A month times 12. That's $1.2 million a year. So see the difference. Short-term rentals, you get paid up front. Management company gets paid up front, 5%. Cleaning company gets paid up front for cleaning the properties and getting them all set up. And maintenance company, cleaning maintenance company gets paid for keeping, maintaining, mowing the grass, doing everything that needs to be done. But you're making 2 times more money. 2 times more than money with short-term rentals. Sure, there's a little bit more cost involved in getting it set up because you have to furnish them all. You have to have linens in there and supplies and pots, pans, forks, dishes, glassware. I mean, everything. But hey, it's all a write-off. You get to write off 100% of that stuff now with the new legislation that went through here in July. It used to be 60%, but now it's 100. So 100% of that property that you have to get ready for short-term rental is 100% tax write-off now. So big advantage to be able to do that. Plus, you have the depreciation in it, the accelerated depreciation that brings it down. So that $3.6 million, whatever it was, um, whatever your net cash flow is with that is going to be able to be knocked down through the depreciation. So you're getting free cash. You don't have to pay taxes on a lot of it because of the depreciation. There's so many different ways that you can make a lot of money in real estate, and multiple streams of revenue is the way to be able to go. You want to be able to keep as much of that money in your organization as possible. And if you see that money is going out to in a particular way, well, there's a big solution for that. Start an LLC and keep that money in house. That it's going to another LLC that you own and operate and manage, and you're keeping as much of that money in as possible, but you're helping the community because you're giving affordable housing to people and families and communities. You're helping people be employed, the cleaning people, the maintenance people, plumbers, the electricians, the roofers, uh, the landscapers, the mowing people. Everybody is being benefited by your business in that community. So that's I wanted to be able to get that out today and to share with you about multiple streams of revenue and how that's going to be able to build your business, build your cash flow, because cash flow is king. Cash is king. The more cash flow you have coming in, the better. And you really start getting in trouble if you start losing cash flow. And you don't want to lose cash flow. You want to keep that cash flow increasing all the time. And the only way you can do that is to keep as much of that revenue coming in that's coming in from the real estate transaction. After the real estate transaction, you want to keep as much of that money as you can and make as much as you can. And I think, in my own personal opinion, short-term rentals is the way to be able to do that because it has a little bit more of an upfront startup cost to it. But in the long run, short-term rentals are going to produce a better cash flow for you, in my opinion, because that's what I do. So thank you for being with the Scott Patrick Show today. Next week, we'll be doing another show, and we'll be talking a little bit more about depreciation and how depreciation works in being able to lessen your tax burden on your business taxes and keeping that money in cash without having to give it to the federal government or the state. Here in Texas, we don't have a state tax, income tax, so we just worry about the federal. So, uh, like, check our links out down below if you'd like to be able to have me do some consulting with you to sit down and help you to set up your real estate empire. I'm here to be able to help you. I'm here to be able to do the best I can to help you get started, to be a mentor for you, and to be able to bring things the way that you want them to be in your business. So thanks for being with us this week, and we'll see you again next week.